Reggie walks, everything that led to the Devers trade collapses. They won't be remembered for the playoff push. They'll be remembered for a generational screw-up. Well, that just happened. The one outcome the Red Sox couldn't afford happened last night. Alex Bregman is a Chicago Cub, 5 years, $175 million. And just like that, everything the Red Sox did over the last year officially falls apart. The guy you picked over a dude who is on his way to being a top 5 Red Sox ever just walked out the door.
And that's what we're talking about today. How this generational screw-up came to an end, and what the Red Sox do from here.
This was the one outcome the Red Sox couldn't afford. Not because Alex Bregman is some irreplaceable superstar, but because of what Boston already did to get here. This wasn't an accident. The Red Sox didn't stumble into this situation. They made a choice. They picked Bregman. They picked him when they told Rafael Devers he was moving positions.
They picked him when they created the spring training chaos.
They picked him when the relationship cracked.
And they picked him when they decided it was easier to move Devers
than to fix the situation they created. That choice had consequences, because once you pick a side like that, you're no longer allowed to miss. You don't trade a franchise player unless the replacement is locked in. You don't fracture a clubhouse unless the payoff is guaranteed. You don't reset your direction unless the endpoint is secure. And Boston did all of that without ever securing the guy they chose. So when Bregman signs somewhere else, this isn't just losing a free agent. It's the entire chain reaction breaking at once. This isn't hindsight. This was always the risk. This was the one outcome the Red Sox couldn't afford. Not because Alex Bregman is some irreplaceable superstar, but because of what Boston already did to get here. This wasn't an accident. This isn't hindsight. This was always the risk. And this is where things get real. Boston doesn't get to ease into the next chapter. They don't get to sell patience. They don't get to ask fans to wait and see. We already did that for 4 years. After trading Devers and letting Bregman walk, the response cannot be subtle. It has to be shocking. That's why this conversation starts and ends with Bo Bichette. He's 27 years old. Not a prospect, not a bridge, not a short-term fix. 27, right in the middle of his prime. Not a 40-homer slugger, but a lineup anchor. A guy who hits for average, creates runs, and gives an offense an actual identity. Last season, he hit .311 with 18 homers and 94 RBIs, finishing near the top of the league in batting average. Career-wise, he's a .290 plus hitter with consistent production year after year. After losing Devers and missing on Bregman, that kind of stability matters. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. The reported number around Bo Bichette is north of $300 million. That's franchise money. That's the cost of doing business at this level. And while Boston decides how it feels about that number, other teams aren't waiting. The Philadelphia Phillies are scheduled to have a video meeting with him. That doesn't mean a deal is done, but it does mean the market is moving. And this is where the Red Sox keep getting burned. If the market moves without you again, then nothing changed. Now, to be fair, there is context here. We've seen Craig Breslow operate when his back is against the wall. When Boston lost out on Max Fried last winter, he didn't stall. He didn't wait. He traded immediately for Garrett Crochet. That move showed decisiveness. It showed awareness of the moment. And that's why this matters now. Because once again, Breslow's back is against the wall. The plan cracked. The pressure is public. The difference this time? This isn't just a rotation fix. This is about direction. Crochet fixed a hole. Bo Bichette fixes gravity. If Breslow is going to respond the way he has before, then this is the moment. And if ownership isn't willing to match that urgency, to meet the scale of what they just lost, then this isn't about missed opportunities anymore. It's about a franchise that keeps reaching the moment of truth and blinking. So this is where it all lands. The Red Sox didn't lose Alex Bregman last night. They lost the justification for everything that came before it. They chose a direction. They sacrificed a franchise cornerstone to commit to it, and then they never finished the job. This isn't about one free agent. It's about process. It's about conviction. It's about understanding the moment you're in. Boston doesn't need excuses. They don't need patience. They don't need time. They need action that matches the scale of what they lost. Because when you trade a player on a top 5 Red Sox trajectory, and then watch the replacement walk, you don't get to reset quietly. And in the end, the Red Sox made a decision that only lasted 3 months. They chose Alex Bregman over a franchise cornerstone, and now Alex Bregman is putting on a Cubs jersey on opening day to start the rest of his career.